Hello, everybody. This is Paul Nison with Torah Life Ministries, and we are doing a daily Bible reading, and we're up to First Chronicles chapter 24, and we're going to be looking at the duties of the priest. And thank you for reading along with me these scriptures every day, and I'm so excited to get in the Word every single day. Let's open up in prayer today. Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad, Baruch Shem Kivon, Mahuto Leolam Vaed. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh is our Elohim, Yahweh is one. And you shall love Yahweh with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And have these words which I command you this day be upon your heart. And you shall teach them diligently to your children, and speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you retire, and when you arise. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and let them be frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorpost of your house, and upon your gates. All righty. So we are up to chapter 24, the duties of the priest in the temple that's being built. And we see King Solomon getting everything ready, or King David getting everything ready for his son Solomon. Even though King David wasn't allowed to build the temple himself, he was gathering all the material needed. He was setting the positions of all the people in the tabernacle and what they were supposed to be doing in the temple here. And it says, this is how Aaron's descendants, the priest, were divided into groups for service. The sons of Aaron were Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. And we see here in a note, the temple service was highly structured, but this did not hinder the spirit of Yahweh. Rather, it provided an orderly context for worship. Sometimes we feel planning and structure are unspiritual activities that hinder spontaneity in worship. But order and structure can free us to respond to Yahweh. Order brings glory to Yahweh as we experience the joy, the freedom, and the calm that comes when we have wisely planned in advance. Verse 2 reads, But Nadab and Abihu died before their father, and they had no sons. So Eleazar and Ithamar were left to carry on as priests. Verse 3, with the help of Zadok, who was a descendant of Eleazar, and Ahimelech, or Ahimelech, who was a descendant of Ithamar, David divided Aaron's descendants into groups according to their various duties. And the note here says the Ahimelech was the son of Ithamar and grandson of another Ahimelech. One of the priests masqueraded by Saul. Abiathar and Zadok were co-high priests under David. One was in Jerusalem where the ark of Yahweh was kept, and one was in Gibeon serving at the temple. It appears from this verse and 18 verse 16 that Ahimelech began to assume some of Abiathar's duties as his father grew older. And then we read verse 4 that says Eleazar's descendants were divided into 16 groups and Ithamar's into 8 groups. From there were more family leaders among the descendants of Eleazar. The note here says Eleazar's descendants were divided into 16 groups as opposed to Ithamar's 8 groups. For 3 reasons. Number 1, Eleazar had received a birthright since his 2 older brothers, Nadab and Abihu, had been killed in Leviticus 10. The birthright included a double portion of the father's estate. And number 2, his descendants were greater in number than Ithamar's. And number 3, his descendants had greater leadership ability. These 24 groups gave order to the functioning of the house of Yahweh. And now we read verse 5 that says, all tasks were assigned to the various groups by means of sacred lots, that no preference would be shown. For there were many qualified officials serving Yahweh in his sanctuary from among the descendants of both Eleazar and Ithamar. Shemaiah, son of Nethanel, a Levite, acted as the secretary and wrote down the names and the assignments in the presence of the king. The officials, Zadok the priest, Ahimelech, son of Abiathar, the family leaders of the priest and the Levites, the descendants of Eleazar and Ithamar took turns casting lots. And we see here in the note, it says of 24 verses 7 to 18, each of these 24 groups of priests served 2-week shifts each year at the house of Yahweh. The rest of the time, they served in their hometowns. This system was still in place in Yeshua's day, as we see in Luke 1, verses 5 to 9. Zechariah was a member of the Abijah division. During his shift in the temple, an angel appeared to him and predicted that he would have a son named John. Some great history there shared. So we look at what they were. The first lot fell to Jeroboam. The second fell to Jedediah. The third lot fell to Haram, and the fourth lot fell to Seram. The fifth lot to Malchijah, and the sixth lot to Marijin. The seventh lot fell to Hakez, and the eighth fell to Abijah. The ninth fell to Jeshua, and the 10th to Sankeniah. The 11th lot fell to Elishbib, and the 12th lot fell to Jacob. The 13th lot fell to Hupka, and the 14th lot fell to Jezebib. The 15th lot fell to Belgag, and the 16th lot fell to Immer. The 17th lot fell to Hesar, and the 18th lot to Hepez. The 19th lot fell to Penrith, and the 20th lot fell to Jeskarel. The 21st lot fell to Jachin, and the 22nd lot fell to Gemiel. The 23rd lot fell to Deliah, and the 24th lot fell to Messiah. And it says for verse 10, the note here in the Hebrew, One New Man Bible says, Zechariah, the father of John the Immerser, was of the division of Abijah. And so that was for verse 10 when we saw that the 7th lot or the 8th lot fell to Abijah. Verse 19 says, each group carried out its appointed duties in the house of Yahweh, according to the procedures established by their ancestor Aaron, in obedience to the commands of Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel. The family leaders among the Levites, verse 20, these were the other family leaders, the descendants from Levi. From the descendants of Amram, the leader was Shebul. From the descendants of Shebul, the leader was Jenadiah. From the descendants of Rehabaniah, the leader was Ishiah. And from the descendants of Ishah, the leader was Sheloth. From the descendants of Shemoth, the leader was Jadath. From the descendants of Hebron, Jael was the leader. Amariah was the second. Jaziel was the third. And Jachamim was the fourth. From the descendants of Uziel, the leader was Malchah. From the descendants of Malchah, the leader was Shemar, along with Isaiah, the brother of Micah. From the descendants of the leader was Zechariah. From the descendants of Mari, the leader were Machal, Mushi. From the descendants of Merari, the leaders were Meel and Mushi. From the descendants of Jaziah, the leader was Bino. From the descendants of Meriathort, Jazel, the leaders were Bino, Shalom, Zakar, and Abri. From the descendants of Malchi, the leader was Eleazar, though he had no sons. From the descendants of Cush, the leader was Jeremiel. From the descendants of Moshe, the leaders were Malhi, Elder, and Jemoth. These were the descendants of Levi and their various families. Like the descendants of Aaron, they were assigned to their duties by means of sacred lots. Without regard to the rank, lots were drawn in the presence of King David, Zadok, Ahimelech, and the family leaders of the priests and the Levites. So that is chapter 24 of First Chronicles, as we continue to read a different chapter every day. Next, we're going to see the duties of the musicians, as David was lining up everything for Solomon to take over and build the temple. as we will see happening. All right. So that is it, everybody. Have a blessed day. Thank you for joining me for this Bible reading. Yahweh be with you all, and shalom, shalom.